Picture this. While you're stuck in traffic complaining about your 90-minute commute, Melbourne is flipping the script on urban transport forever. 5 massive projects are reshaping Australia's second-largest city right now, and when they're complete, they'll handle over 500,000 extra passengers every single week. We're talking about $26 billion worth of tunnels, bridges, and infrastructure that will make your subway system look like a toy train set. But here's the kicker. 3 of these projects have already blown their budgets by billions, and one of them might be the most expensive mistake in Australian history. Deep beneath Melbourne's bustling CBD, something extraordinary is taking shape. 9 kilometres of twin rail tunnels snake through the city's underground, connecting 5 brand new stations that look more like underground cathedrals than subway stops. The Metro Tunnel isn't your average transport upgrade. It's a complete reimagining of how a city moves. The scale here is mind-blowing. These tunnels burrow 40 metres below street level. Deeper than a 12-storey building is tall. The boring machines that carve these passages weigh 4,000 tonnes each. That's equivalent to 40 blue whales grinding through solid rock and clay. Every metre of tunnel required removing enough earth to fill an Olympic swimming pool. But the real genius lies in the network effect. By December 2025, this tunnel will link the Sunbury line in Melbourne's west directly to the Cranbourne and Pakenham lines in the southeast. For the first time in the city's history, you'll be able to travel from one side of Melbourne to the other without changing trains or dealing with the bottleneck of the city loop. The 5 new stations tell their own story. Arden Station sits in the heart of a massive urban renewal zone. Parkville connects directly to Melbourne's medical precinct, home to some of the world's leading hospitals and research facilities. State Library Station puts you right under one of the Southern Hemisphere's most beautiful reading rooms. Town Hall Station links to the retail heart of the city. And Anzac Station connects to the sports and entertainment district where 100,000 people gather for AFL Grand Finals. The numbers are staggering. This system will handle 500,000 additional passenger trips every week. During peak hour, trains will run every 2 to 3 minutes. The project has already completed 40 million hours of testing. That's equivalent to one person working non-stop for 4,500 years. But here's where things get interesting. The original budget was $11 billion. The current price tag? $13.48 billion. That's a cost blowout that could fund entire transport systems in smaller countries. An independent audit revealed the project missed its original September 2024 completion date due to electromagnetic interference issues near hospitals. Turns out running electric trains under medical facilities creates some unexpected complications. If the Metro Tunnel is impressive, the Northeast Link is absolutely bonkers. This isn't just road construction, it's geological surgery on an urban scale. Twin tunnels stretching 6.5 kilometres will burrow under Melbourne's northeast suburbs, connecting the M80 Ring Road to the Eastern Freeway. When complete, it'll be the missing piece in Melbourne's orbital road network. The engineering challenges here make other projects look simple. These tunnels dive up to 90 metres underground, deeper than the Statue of Liberty is tall. The tunnel boring machines for this project are even more massive than those used for the Metro Tunnel. Each one a 150-metre-long underground factory that simultaneously excavates, removes debris, and installs concrete tunnel segments. The scale of earth movement is astronomical. Contractors will excavate 9 million cubic metres of soil and rock, enough to fill the Melbourne cricket ground 12 times over. The concrete alone requires 400,000 cubic metres, which could build a sidewalk from Melbourne to Sydney. But the real story is the traffic impact. Right now, 15,000 trucks thunder through Melbourne's northeast suburbs every single day, turning residential streets into industrial corridors. The Northeast Link will pull these heavy vehicles underground and onto dedicated freight routes. Some commutes that currently take over an hour will drop to 25 minutes. The project includes something most tunnel projects don't: a complete freeway upgrade above ground. The M80 Ring Road gets widened from 4 to 6 lanes, with new interchanges that look more like architectural sculptures than highway infrastructure. Here's the problem. The budget has exploded from an initial estimate of $10 to $16 billion to $26 billion. That makes it more expensive than some countries' entire annual budgets. Critics argue the cost-benefit ratio no longer makes sense, especially when you consider that $26 billion could fund multiple rail lines or hundreds of schools and hospitals. The project hit another snag when workers discovered a massive sinkhole right in the middle of the construction zone. This wasn't a small cavity. It was deep enough to swallow a 3-story building. Construction had to halt while engineers figured out how to build tunnels through unstable ground that's apparently riddled with underground voids. Now we get to the big one, the project that makes everything else look like pocket change. The suburban rail loop might be Australia's most visionary transport project, or its most expensive mistake. A 90-kilometre line will circle Melbourne's middle suburbs, linking major train lines, universities and job hubs. The first stage, SRL East, runs from Cheltenham to Box Hill with 6 new underground stations in areas that have never had rail access. This project aims to completely reshape how Melbourne moves. The tunnels dive as deep as 40 metres, and each station is planned as a mini-city, with housing, offices and retail built around it. The government predicts $58.7 billion in economic benefits, new suburbs, rising property values and better business access. With Melbourne heading toward 8 million residents by 2050, the SRL is designed to absorb that growth without gridlock. But independent reviews say the full cost, including 40 years of operation, could exceed $200 billion, more than 3 years of Australia's defence budget. Infrastructure Australia doubts the modelling, warning that benefits may be overstated. Critics argue that kind of money could fund high-speed rail across the country or rebuild the nation's hospitals and universities. Supporters say the alternative is a city that simply stops moving. Stage 1 isn't expected to open until 2035, and given Melbourne's track record, even that looks optimistic. Built in the 1970s, the Westgate Bridge carries 200,000 vehicles a day, double what it was designed for. The Westgate Tunnel project adds twin tunnels under Yarraville, a new bridge over the Maribyrnong River, and an expanded freeway with dedicated truck lanes. It even includes elevated cycling and walking paths with skyline views, rare for a freight corridor. The 2.8-kilometre tunnels run 20 metres below one of Melbourne's most crowded suburbs, forcing engineers to invent quieter, low-vibration tunnelling methods. Once complete, the tunnel will pull 9,000 trucks a day off residential streets, cutting noise and pollution across the inner west. But the budget nearly doubled, from $5.5 to $12 billion after community backlash and redesigns. Still, it's on track to open in late 2025, making it the first of these megaprojects to finish. Not every megaproject is about traffic. The $1.57 billion Melbourne Arts Precinct transformation focuses on creativity and culture. At its heart is NGV Contemporary, set to become the largest contemporary art museum in the Southern Hemisphere. The design reimagines Southbank's cultural hub, linking the National Gallery of Victoria and the Arts Centre Melbourne with an elevated garden that connects all venues above street level. The new gallery spans 18,000 square metres across multiple floors and doubles as a public landmark. It's expected to create 11,000 construction jobs and hundreds of permanent roles in the creative sector, strengthening Melbourne's reputation as Australia's cultural capital. The budget has crept up only slightly, with completion planned for 2028 to 2029, a rare display of stability among mega projects. Together, these projects, now topping $50 billion, will redefine how Melbourne operates. The Metro Tunnel and North East Link tackle immediate congestion. The suburban rail loop plans for the long haul. The Westgate Tunnel removes freight from local roads, and the Arts Precinct ensures the city grows without losing its soul. But ballooning budgets raise tough questions. When the North East Link leaps from $10 to $26 billion, that's money not spent on hospitals or housing. And if the SRL truly hits $200 billion, it becomes a debt that shapes government spending for generations. Cities around the world are watching. If Melbourne pulls this off, it could become the model for 21st century urban growth. If it fails, it'll be a warning about the limits of building your way out of problems. Most of these projects won't be done until the 2030s, even as the city adds another 1 million people. The challenge is building tomorrow's infrastructure while surviving today's growth. Melbourne's megaprojects form the biggest infrastructure gamble in national history. Their combined cost rivals the GDP of smaller nations. If they succeed, they'll reshape how Australian cities grow. If they stumble, they could kill public support for megaprojects for a generation. A city that can move 8 million people efficiently while staying culturally alive becomes a magnet for global talent. But cost overruns this size can wreck budgets and destroy trust. The next few years will decide whether Melbourne has built the backbone of a world-class city or a lineup of white elephants. Melbourne is pushing the limits of modern city building. 5 megaprojects promise to transform transport and culture, but they've already doubled in cost. From the Metro Tunnel's 500,000 new weekly trips to the Westgate Tunnel's freight relief, the potential payoff is huge. Yet total spending has climbed from $30 billion to over $50 billion, with the SRL possibly adding another $150 billion. By the 2030s, Melbourne will have 2 million more residents. Whether this turns out visionary or reckless depends entirely on execution. So, what do you think? Are these mega projects the key to Melbourne's future, or billion-dollar burdens that taxpayers will be paying off for decades? Drop your thoughts below, and tell us whether you believe cities can truly build their way to prosperity.